What's up, YouTube? What's up, Dave Randolph?
Hey, hey, hey.
How's Jesse?
She's doing good. She's at home today.
Uh-oh. You should have brought her in. Oh, man, we got the Viking in the house.
All the troublemakers.
Yeah, we got Viking and 3D Obsession and Justin, Dr. Jekyll, Mickey, Dan, WFO Writer, Dan Fueling, 3D Printing and Painting, Chris Freeze, SPC 3D. I haven't actually seen SP3C before. Chris Galata, Das Rot, Grigori. Dang, man. We got everybody up in here. There's only 14 of you. Y'all better hurry up. Don't forget to hit that like button because you need like buttons. That's like the most important thing in the world is like buttons. We got Dave, and Dave just had a birthday the other day. So how does 35 feel?
It feels repetitive.
And
Like
look,
I've
we got
had.
taco money. Thank you, Kyle. Oh man. So we've got tacos. You're 35 again. There's a CNC station behind you.
A few lasers and all that stuff. I'm in the other building today.
Oh, I like how you got one of those expandable carts back there so you can haul stuff around.
Oh yeah, we got way too many of those around here.
Mm. Oh, Bob Carnes? 3D printing and painting, 56 sucks. Yeah, 35's the best. You're old enough to know what you're doing is wrong and young enough to still be able to play basketball and only hurt a little bit
You're you're
afterwards.
you're old enough to know all your past mistakes and how they're going to affect you in the future.
Exactly. Oh, we got Barry Danks too. What? And Bob Carnes, who was on stream last night, who is using Prusa Slicer version 2.2. I'm using Idea Maker version, I have no idea. I think I'm using the beta right now, 3.6 or something. Only because I had printing issues with my Prusa Slicer. But we're here about Dave. Oh, we got Jordan too. What is this? So, Dave, what are you doing?
Working as always.
Working
So
as always.
of course,
Always working. But I don't see anything moving back there. Why aren't the CNC machines just like buzzing away making more enclosures? Like
because they're too
this.
loud for me while I'm streaming. So after we're done
Oh,
today, I'll go back and do that.
oh, you're on CNC duty today.
Well, there's a couple of organizations that are still doing the whole face shields,
Yeah.
and I've been coming in on the weekends and I'll do face shield cutting on the lasers.
Oh, nice.
Mainly because it's just so stinky. I just do it when nobody else is around.
Stinky.
Yeah,
What material are you guys cutting for that?
PTG,
PTG. Okay. That stuff smells
technically
when
PT.
it's cut with a laser.
It smells when you cut it with a laser. I mean, you're
Oh.
burning it, so
Uh-oh. Carl already has questions. Are you gonna open up for walk-ins come July?
That's a good question. We voluntarily continue to keep our building shut down for June. We're going to keep watching the whole COVID thing and make a decision if we're going to start doing appointments in July. If I had to make a
Nice.
guess right now based on the numbers, I'm probably going to keep the place closed in all honesty.
Stephen London. In honor of Dave's birthday, will David offer senior discounts for us 55 plus year old dudes?
Wow.
When Dave turns 55, you'll think about it.
There you go. There
He's
you
going to stay
go.
35 for a while.
For a long time.
We got to keep him there because we got to keep having printed solid there. Well, I mean, when Dustin takes over eventually.
Yeah. I need to do an AARP discount at some point.
For yourself when you order stuff like, hey, company that makes my stuff, can you or like makes your PPE stuff or your metal products for your cutting? I'm this old, can I get a discount?
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start calling my vendors here and I'll be like, I'll call up E3D and Bond Tech and do what and be like, hey, listen, I deserve a senior discount now. Can you change my pricing?
Now Steven says just a sticker maybe. There you go. If you order today before 6 p.m. Central Time, so you got 6 hours, Dave will throw in a second sticker with your order, but he'll charge you 50 cents more. So
There
it's
you
free
go.
for 50 cents more. And that 50 cents will go to Dave's um, uh, old man fund.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be my retirement money.
Ah, see, Carl's over here saying that he spends more when he does those impulse walk-in buys.
Yep.
You need to do one of those virtual websites where you walk into the store and people put on their
See,
VR goggles and they're like, "Oh man, I need that Ultimaker."
walk past Dustin sleeping in the office.
Yeah. Does he ship beer or wine? No, but he's got Airheads,
Yes.
and those are delicious. I keep buying like Airheads from him for a lot of money, and they keep putting printer parts in the boxes. I said 2 more nozzles show up, and I was like, I just wanted the Airhead.
Yeah, we need to teach you the efficiencies of purchasing, but okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really good at that. What's making that noise? One of my printers being stupid? Oh yeah, one of my printers is being stupid. I just saw it do a big jump over there. I'm gonna go pause that one. Let's see here. And that printer is this one. I'm going to pause that one for now, and I'll figure what's going on after the show. First question. Oh, yeah. When are you going to get 2.3 kilogram spools, Dave?
Well, the problem is that if people stop buying the filament, then I'll have time to make the 1 kilogram spools, and I'll have time to make the 2.3 kilogram spools.
Mm.
We fight to make it and fill up our shelves as fast as possible. And the current goal is we're going to get all the 1.75 1 kilogram spools on the shelf. And then we need to do a quick pass of the 2.85 1 kilogram spools. And then we'll do 175 2.3 kilograms, and then the 2.85 2.3 kilograms.
Dang.
So it's a lot when you consider 37 colors.
That's it?
37 colors times 4 different sizes.
No.
That's a lot of material to get through.
But you have a full-time lady working on that line now.
So now we have a full-timer working on it.
Nice.
And normally I would be like, I'd pick up the slack and, work a swing shift on it. But I was doing so many 20-hour days that I'm starting to go home and sleep after about 16 hours a day.
Yeah, Dave was falling asleep on stream last night. We're having a fantastical Friday FDM fun chat yesterday, and there's Dave just. And the history of 3mm filament. You always wake up at the right times. Chris, he has one line. He really needs to have
line.
2 lines. Jeremy says he'll intern. If you live in Delaware, he'll take you.
Yeah, we're looking at a second line already. So we are looking at it.
Yeah. You've been looking at a second line since you bought the first line.
Before I turned on the first line, I was like, you know what? I could use a second one.
Yeah. Got to take care of you. That's true, Carl. We got to take care of this guy. Someone asked me a question. Do you need the break? So the breakout board is different. There's a little bug with the SKR board where the signal isn't always correct, and all that breakout board does is clean up the signal a bit. So that way you don't have stuck pixels at weird colors because during heat up and cool down, it transitions from blue to red and then from red to purple. So sometimes a pixel gets stuck, and that's all the breakout board does. The DC-DC module just steals more voltage and converts it to 5 volts, so you can run more than 7 neopixels. You can then run 30 neopixels on one 5-volt output. So you can probably do more. I actually tested the neopixels. I did 20 without a DC-DC module, and it works. I don't know what it's doing badly to the board, but it still works. But I still recommend that DC-DC module. Now Kyle's got a Kinetica G2C. Man, all I had to do was say, new board, cool story, and now there's new boards in the world. Dave, when are you making a board?
When I'm bored.
This makes sense. All right. You ready for the lightning round, Dave?
Alrighty, sure thing.
Who is the owner of Printed Solid?
Charles Randolph.
Good old Charles Randolph. Are you Charles David Randolph?
That's correct.
Oh no, David's got one of those. He's one of those middle name people.
Yeah, because you don't call me Chuck.
Yeah, I can only. We already have one Chuck in 3D printing. We don't need a second one, right?
That's right.
You didn't want to steal his thunder. Who is Employee of the Month at Printed Solid? If there was a Employee of the Month,
Jesse.
good call. don't want to make any of the other employees unhappy. Is
That's right.
Jesse the reigning champion of Employee of the Month?
She's been the employee of the month for 3 years running.
Oh man. All right. What is your favorite Printed Solid product that Printed Solid manufactures themselves?
Oh boy. Um, right now it is still Jesse Filament. It's still my favorite printed solid exclusive filament. That's the one I'm the most proud of right now.
Nice. I do enjoy some Jesse. I mean, here's some Blue Moon. It's the big Jesse I printed. This is a normal Jesse that I print in Jesse filament with the new Dark Soul or Soul
Soul Black.
Darkness. Soul Black. It's got glitter in it.
It's a deep, deep, dark, rich black with little specks of light, just like my
And
soul.
then my favorite one, the Industrial Runoff. Wicked. Sounds like Jesse should get a raise. That is correct. Jesse, you get an extra doggy bone today in your lunch pail.
Well, she's of course going to be, the employee of the month. She sleeps in the same bed with the owner.
We're gonna call PETA. Okay. Oh yeah, back to the questions here. Back to the questions. Your favorite slicer of choice?
Everyone's gonna hate me. Everyone's gonna hate me. I'm still a Cura fan.
Oh no, we don't hate you. If you said Simplify 3D, we'd hate you. Cura's fine.
I still use Simplify 3D, but Cura is still my favorite.
Oh, you and those one long list of all the settings on one side to shuffle through, and no organization to them whatsoever.
That's correct. That's what I like. I like that drop down because you just work your way down the list, and then by the time you reach the bottom, you've got it all done.
Yeah. Bob says so. That's what it takes. Favorite filament? That's not Jesse.
Oh God, man, you put me on a spot because I represent so many vendors.
Yes.
Okay, let's can we categorize this a little bit?
Your favorite PLA filament?
Okay,
That's
Color
not
Fab.
Jesse. Color Fab.
Color Fab.
Nice. How
They
about
put a
your
little bit.
favorite
They put a
nylon
little
filament?
pH in. Favorite nylon filament. Arguably right now, toss up Fiber Force / Push Plastics of all people.
Nice. I actually haven't tried push nylon. Okay. Favorite candy?
Not Airheads.
Really? Why are Airheads in your packages?
Because I need a candy that can survive shipping.
Oh, okay. That's true.
My favorite candy is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Oh, you can put those in there. They just will be Reese's something or others by the time they arrive.
Your nozzle will be clogged with chocolate and peanut butter.
That's, if you made a peanut butter scented filament, like smell of hot roasted peanuts as it's extruding, I think you might win. I mean, we've had coffee and beer and cinnamon and bacon and pine tree. I think that the world is ready for peanut.
Peanut nozzles made out of peanut. Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, a little bit of peanut oil in there. That way it gives it some, gives the extruder a little bit of, lubrication. It's good. I think it's good. I think and a little salt. That way it's tasty.
It ups your extrusion multiplier by at least 0.05, I'm sure.
Something like that. PC or console gaming?
8-bit PC.
8-bit PC. So an Amiga.
Old school, 8-bit or even 32-bit, but I'm not a fan of like modern PC gaming or even modern console.
I'm
You
okay
guys
with
got too
this.
many. You kids got too many buttons now.
But what are your turnip prices then if you're not into modern games?
See, I mean, up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, PA, select, start is all you need in life. That's the most complicated thing you should have to memorize about a game.
Oh man. Uh-oh. Someone just ordered their first printed solid filament, 3 kilograms worth. You'll enjoy it because I might have every kilogram possible of it somewhere. The collection continues to grow. Ooh, PLA or PETG? Which one do you prefer?
I still really like PLA.
I,
PLA is just in my opinion, I think it's a more environmentally friendly material,
yeah.
and I think it prints more reliably on a consistent basis.
Mm. Team Jacob or Team Edward?
How about Team Lost Boys?
Hey, that's a great movie. And what is your favorite 80s movie, by the way?
Back to the Future or Top Gun?
Top Gun? Oh man, are you Goose or are you Maverick?
Most days I feel like Goose.
just just crashing into the ocean.
I just
Uh,
keep hitting my head on the cockpit every single day.
well, that's interesting. DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Man, let's see here. Favorite test print?
Well, besides Jesse, I would probably say Calibration Cube.
Calibration cube. There needs to be a printed solid calibration cube.
That's called Jesse.
Yeah, but I mean actual cube. Top Gun.
Ah.
Yeah, we guess what we'll call him now. Top Gun Dave. It's gonna send you goose logos all the time. The goose with the knife in its mouth. That's the one. That's the new
That's
Dave
the one.
logo. Um, tacos or burgers?
Tacos for quality, burgers for speed.
Burgers for speed. Um, best printer not made by Joseph Prusa.
Cost not a factor.
Cost not a factor.
Right now, my favorite best print. Oh, you're getting me so much trouble with my other vendors. My favorite best printer is the Ultimaker S3.
Ooh, not the S5?
The S5 I think is nice, but I think the S3 balances everything out.
Oh man. Now everyone's gonna be buying S3s. Dang it, Dave.
So,
You better hope you're stocked up on them.
yeah. It's a little bit smaller than the S5, but has all the same features, sits on a desk very nicely, has a good price point.
Hmm. Besides Stroop waffles, what is your favorite snack?
Well, I'll put this out there, and I know three people are going to hate me, but I hate Stroop waffles.
Oh, did you warm them up at least?
I've tried, and just not the
Oh,
taste for me.
oh.
Snacks, arguably, I am kind of a grapes or apple guy.
Grapes or apples? What is this, preschool?
Hey, I'll just sit there and just load up, cut a bunch of apples into a bowl and just go to town for a while.
Oh man. You are into forestry. There should be an orchard at your house, just apple orchard.
There you go.
Let's see here. There we go. New T-shirt printed solid. Burgers for speed. What's up, Llama? Is there a model for the printed solid knight? Yes, there is a Legacy of Bob. If you go onto Thingiverse, there is I think if you just type in printed solid, you'll eventually find Jesse's because there's a Jesse with open mouth, and the knight.
And the night is called Sir Layers a Lot.
Sir Layers a lot. Reminds me of Sir Dance a lot. Uh, besides me, who inspires you the most in this industry?
Oh boy. users. I mean, I hate to say it, but the people that inspire me the most are not the people that even you can know their name.
Nice.
I love it when I see like 50,000 people post different prints of random stuff, even when it has nothing to do with me.
We found it thanks to
So,
Carl.
so
Should I put a sock on my heat block?
the standard one, not the professional one.
Got it. Pro just means tiny orifice may clog better.
The
Uh,
pro means that you probably are going to ruin it at some point, so just
yeah.
go with the regular.
Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees. Who would win in a battle?
Austin Powers.
uh, 0.9 degree or 1.8 degree on the X and Y axis of a printer.
1.8. I'm gonna go against you on that one. I'm gonna say 1.8.
Got it. If you were on a,
I think it really loads the controller.
well, that's why we make better controllers now.
So,
Good old 32-bit. If you were on a sexiest people 3D printing calendar, what month would you be?
June Timber.
June Timber. Oh, there we
I,
go. Ace Ventura would win. Oh, that's a tough question. Who is your favorite Bond? There's a lot of Bonds.
There is a lot of Bonds.
I mean, I'm a Sean Connery man myself, but
yeah, he played it very well. Oh God, who is the? I can't believe his name just slipped me. Who's the Die Another Day guy?
oh, yep, that guy. I'm horrible
Yeah,
with names too.
Peter Branson or whatever his name was. That guy, Peter Bronson, I
Uh-huh.
think it was. But
Yeah.
yeah, he was the good modern one just because he fit it well. He had the look. He
Pierce
had the
Brosnan. That's his
Pierce
name.
Brosnan. Thank you. So Pierce Brosnan, I'm gonna put in there because I think he weighed all the values pretty well.
Yeah, he just had a really bad side cast with him.
Yeah.
Uh, V6 or Mosquito? Dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
Your vendors are just going to hate you.
they hate me. Every day for everyday stuff, I'm gonna say V6. I'm gonna take that train. I'm gonna say V6.
I'm going to say Copperhead, but no one asked.
So I know, and it's because I think Mosquito is definitely the advanced.
Yeah.
That's kind of like saying, do you want the for me, it's kind of like saying, do you want the pickup truck or the race car? The pickup truck will get all your work done. The race car will technically get you there.
Yeah, I had that same discussion the other day. Someone was like, why? Because I was talking about the new Panicot board. And I'd mentioned, like, it's $80 and it has high quality components. Like, well, why not just get a Duet? And I'm like, okay, this is like me going to a car group and saying, man, I really need a daily driver. Look at this Camry. And someone responds with, well, what about this race car?
Yep.
Like, okay, I need a daily driver. I don't need a race car. So
You can have a souped up hot end and all that stuff, but you need something that's just steady and stable all the time.
yeah,
It's going to get you there and back.
I just wish they wouldn't fall apart when you try to unscrew the nozzle. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that is their flaw, and don't forget that's a flaw in the Copperhead too.
it is. But you can just unscrew the entire heat break and take it all apart. Because you don't
Yep.
have to actually screw any. They did some things. Timothy Dalton wasn't bad either. They're right.
Now there's a great argument on that head though, because if you have a dropout heat break like that,
Mm-hmm.
are you getting just as good a thermal contact as you are with a threaded heat break?
Better because I ran my Copperhead test without thermal paste, and it was 6 degrees cooler than a hot end with thermal paste and threaded.
That can be arguable to the heat sink. I'm talking about if you think about the logistics behind it, a threaded heat break has more surface area.
It does, but it has a lot of air gap that you have to fill with paste.
Right. So there's some good arguments there. There's good arguments for both of those methods.
Fadus Dragon. Incorrect, sir. It is a good hot end, but Incorrect. Triangle. Everyone's like dragon. Um, Nice. Thanks for sharing that, Mr. 3D printing and painting. Stephen London, what's your favorite bed options, Dave? Is it a mag bed? Is it not a mag bed? Is it a Gecko Tech? Is it a steak sandwich on rye?
I am a fan of flexible build plates. Now, I say I'm a fan of that, and I don't think it needs to have magnets to be a fan of them.
Uh-oh.
Literally straight clip on is more than enough. It's just the removal process.
As long as they're not really flimsy sheets that will warp while you're printing.
Right.
Which I'm dealing with Big Tree Tech right now because they're city.
And there are some removable glass plates out there, which I do like, but on a regular basis, I'm going to go with flex plates.
Glass beds flex once.
But the secret to glass beds that I really like is that they work really well when you put them in the freezer after you're done printing.
Yeah, and then you can put ice cream on it, and then.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the glass plates. I'll literally put them in the dishwasher and in the freezer, and just it takes care of them. They last forever for that reason.
Oh, borosilicate glass or tempered?
Borosilicate.
Dang it. Okay. Bed size, single, full, queen, or king? California queen.
I am a queen bed person.
Nice.
That's enough room for Jesse to still be up there.
Steve-O says, your spools for use for Jesse filament are a bit unusual with the indented arbor hole on one side. What purpose does that serve? There's an arbor hole on one side?
Okay, so that indent is actually fairly common in some of the heavier duty spools out there. If you didn't know, our spool sizes were dictated by the welding industry. And these spools come from a company that makes spools for welding wire. And the indent is specifically for welding machines. They have a nut that goes inside there.
Green slime.
So that's where most of them come from.
If you haven't printed with green slime, folks, you've basically missed out on one of the coolest things ever. Just saying. All right. Do you have any pets? He's got Jesse.
That's all I need, Jesse.
It's a literal animal that lives in his house. We just get to print facsimiles of said animal. Ooh, when are you going to start selling transition spools again? Asked the grubby zebra.
So we actually sell those pretty regularly. But here's the thing. We get lots of emails and complaints about never having that one in stock. And transition spools, we don't intentionally make those.
Yeah.
Those are only made when we transition from one color to another. And on average, we only get like 2 or 3 spools a day. So we will post those as soon as they come up, and they're usually gone within an hour.
So, an hour?
And it doesn't matter how many we make in a day. Our operator screwed up a couple days ago. She made like 20 transition spools because she didn't have the barrel completely clean before she changed colors. And so, I mean, that's like 10 times what we normally have in a day, and all 20 of them were gone like before she was done with the day. I mean, it was like maybe like 3 hours to get rid of all of those.
Well, she's in trouble now.
So, it's okay. She's still relatively new, and she's learning the machine, so she's got a little ways to learn the secrets of it. It hasn't broke on her too badly yet.
Oh, see, Dan's printed with some green slime, and then Llama's going to print with some green slime after. Ooh, Chris Travis wants to know if there's going to be Master Spool, Jesse.
In all honesty, probably not anytime soon. I still have not been convinced that Master Spool is a good idea.
It was a good concept.
It's a good concept. Now, just remember this, though. Your average spool is about 250 grams of plastic. Okay? So, that means that if one person messes up one master spool, they've automatically ruined 1 kilogram of filament type of thing. And that's worth 4 regular spools of plastic. And so far, in every experience that I've seen with people out there in master spools, that's about the ratio.
Well, dang. Dave, you don't have a recycled sticker on your spool.
That's because they are already come from recycled material, and they can't go through the stream twice.
Oh, they can in my world.
So
I'm sending it back to you then, Dave, when I'm done with it.
that's right.
I'm still waiting for a company that will be like, send us back our old spools, get a $1 off your next order.
Here's the problem with that, and I thought about that in all honesty, because that's very reasonable for me to do.
Yeah.
But to ship a spool to me is going to be about $1.50 to $2.
Yeah, no.
So that literally has to be a person that sits there and goes, I'm willing to pay to recycle. And there's just nobody who wants to do that. We've had a couple people that do that, but it just doesn't take off as well as it should.
So we need to have a printed solid Rep Rat Festival where everyone brings back their Jesse spools when they drive over to hang out. And there'll just be a tower of Jesse spools. And they'll be like, and you'll be like, all right, everyone gets a nickel.
I do want to host spooling parties when this whole COVID thing's over. The idea is that I'll have everybody come in and we'll just load up your spools. Pick a color and load up people's spools for the day.
So when you move into Rockford, that way I can join in on the party.
When you move into Delaware, so you can join in on the party.
Damn it! These guys and their questions. No Jesse in EU as far as I know. What's up, Hano? 3D Obsession's already asking for the next new color filament release. You just did one. Calm down. There's like what, 9 new colors? 9 new colors?
9 new colors. We're up to 37 colors total, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find any other vendor that has more than us in a PLA line for colors.
Man. All right. There's a good transition question. Johnny Boy Tech asks, what makes your company different from the ones from other ones, and what is it that you feel most proud of it? That's basically the next segment is what is Printed Solid up to? What is Printed Solid's current thing?
Okay. Well, you want me to start with the what makes Jesse different, or what Printed Solid's currently up to? All right. So
everything.
Yeah. So what makes Jesse a little bit different is that one, I make it. It's named after a dog. Those are two very important properties. But the big thing is that I wanted to take a different approach. I really wanted this idea that you can make a quality filament in the United States at a very affordable price. I really wanted to prove that as a point. And that's what Jesse Filament's really about to me. I wanted to prove that there's a lot of colors out there that can be done. I wanted to prove that you don't have to always, buy cheap stuff from overseas to get a decent product.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud, Jesse. I just recently changed even over the bags to an American-made company. So everything except the sticker on the side of the spool is made in America.
Darn you, sticker.
The sticker's printed in America, but everything except the sticker base itself is made in America. So nice. I'm very proud of that. And I was trying to do that as a hell bent. Everything comes through one place. So we have that. The next thing we have been, I've been making enclosures for a little over 11 years, and I've been, here at Printed Solid for a little over 3 years. So, I'm going through all my enclosures and overhauling all the designs and moving over to different materials. So, we're relaunching all of our enclosure designs across the board. And that's required us to retool our entire shop, hire some new people, get different suppliers for every material, and we've been doing that all through COVID, and I'm just surprised that we've gotten any progress at all. So we should be done launching all of our new designs for all the printers that we support probably by the end of July.
Nice.
And I'm constantly exploring adding more and more Printed Solid made products to the catalog. I want Printed Solid to ultimately, within 2 years, my end goal is that I want it to be half a reseller and half a manufacturer, right down the line.
So what's next after these enclosures?
Well, I want to move into some more I think I'll do pretty well with doing frame components. I really want to start working on some frame components, some structural components, things like that,
Mm.
for printer builds. So there's a lot of printer projects. I don't know if you've seen like the Voron printer.
Yeah,
I really love what they're doing. I think it's a pretty cool design. It's really like cool ideas and everything like that. And you're going to see that I want to start manufacturing some parts for it as well as carry the parts for it. Things like that. I really want to see us be kind of the DIYers place for, oh, we want to build this printer. There's a whole section on the website that has all the parts for that printer and the
that's
whole
my
section
favorite
for
store that I've
that,
been telling everyone we need.
you know, and excuse me, kind of organize it by printer type. So, we're starting to do the Railcore more and more, and we're starting to add on Voron. We'll start adding on some, and we've had Prusa for a while now.
Hmm.
So our goal is to kind of start all of these DIY printer crazinesses that are out there. It's kind of like I really wanted to do the White Knight belt printer, but ran into a bunch of patent problems,
Yeah.
problems like that. So that's where those issues kind of come in. But I'm always looking for the next big printer that's got some cool ideas that I really like. Railcore, I really liked how they kind of did the external body panel support the frame with the Core XY. I really like how the Voron literally decided that they're going to do their entire gantry is what goes up and down, so the bed stays perfect stationary.
Yep.
So I really like it when there's a weird printer that's functionally different and new to people. So that's what I'm trying to chase for the company.
Okay with that.
Then there's the boring side where I have an entire, different guy and different little subsection that focuses entirely on the corporate enterprise sales thing.
Corporate enterprise, whatever.
You know,
Those guys
people
don't
that
want
probably,
anything cool.
the people that probably aren't watching this stream, but they definitely need a good support. And most corporate enterprise customers, what they really need is they need experts that can actually talk them through the stuff because most of them enter with zero knowledge of 3D printing, and you have to get them up to speed very quickly. So they require a completely different staffing concept, a different
Yeah.
approach. DIYers, I sit there and I go, yeah, you should be able to figure that out. That should work. That doesn't work in the corporate enterprise sales side of things.
So when are you going to make a 300 by 300 magnetic bed? PCB Prusa style for us because we need that.
So that is one thing I have looked at is about starting to make my own series of beds.
Nice.
Not flex plates, but my own beds.
Yeah.
I've been looking at that. I've been looking at a couple of circuit boards, designs, and little things like that I want to play with. So
Yeah, we need some filament holders that are heated.
So, something like that is on the radar. I'll be honest with you. One thing that I'm trying to do with that is that I like what Pooch has been doing with his box, and I don't want to step on his toes too much. I know there's some areas that's missed in that category, so I'm going to work on that.
Nice.
But I don't want to step on his box because I think he's good for the community, and I think he's got a good enough product that there's no reason
Red box. I do have a couple of those.
yeah, no reason to slap him around and try and be that guy.
See there. Oh, I did that backwards. There's an arrow. Rep box. Rep box.
So,
Not sold at Printed Solid, but
yep.
they're neat. It has my face on it. Let's see here. The spools are recycled. Will you injection mold your own spools? Oof.
I've talked to people about it, and oh my lord, I'd be looking at about 20 plus grand just to get the mold made.
Yeah, that's not cheap. That's not cheap at
So
all.
it's not cheap. So it's a chunk of change. But I keep looking at it, and I keep talking to different manufacturers, seeing what they can do for me. And most of it sits there, hang up the phone, and be like, "Well, crud, that's not going to work."
Could you get like a heat stamp? Then you can just get generic ones and just stamp the word Printed Solid on there.
If I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all the way. I'm not going
Damn
to do
it.
any of that.
Damn it. How about a Printed Solid hot end, Dave?
I don't think you're going to see a printed solid hot end anytime soon, and the main reason why is because I honestly believe between E3D and Slice Engineering that if I tried to enter the game, I wouldn't bring anything new to the market. I can't think of anything new to the market to bring.
There's a new hot end coming out soon that nobody knows about.
So, yeah, I think I might know the one you're thinking of, but I just don't think it's a market for me yet.
From a China manufacturer.
Oh, okay. So
everyone's got cool stuff. It's just will it actually work?
Yeah, for me, I just don't think I can make a hot end better than those two companies are doing. So why not support them rather than beat them?
I do want this.
So we've tried with the Bear Frame. We are a huge open source company. We believe in supporting it in more ways than just saying, "Oh, look, it's open source. I can copy it and sell it." I don't want to carry an open source product unless I actually have support by the person that created it.
Yeah.
And as of right now, the Bear Frame, the creators of that really want just one vendor per country type of thing, and so that's why.
Ooh, that's a tough question. I personally don't like cardboard spools because why would you want a material that absorbs moisture next to a material that doesn't want moisture? But that's just me.
Cardboard spools, I would say, are more environmentally friendly because one, they're more readily recyclable. But the problem you run into is that the stiffness of the side of the spool flails out. So when you're spooling onto it or you're printing from it, you're more than likely to get the filament to tuck under on the side and kind of jam up on you on a spool.
Yeah, those filamentive ones are really nice. So that the compressed cardboard ones, the super stiff. Oof, those things are thick.
So they're super thick, but that's one way around it. Protopasta, their spools, they get around it because they don't put a full 1 kilogram on it, so it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It really starts to hurt after you hit about 1 kilogram.
Oof. Ben White, are you like in my brain? You know how many mixed 6 beds I want to make? And I've already been like trying to get Jason from LDO to make them, and 300 by 300 magnetic beds. I've already been bugging Jason, like, we need these. And he's like, will people buy them? I'm like, yeah, they will. Just someone's got to put the money up to order a bunch.
Yeah. It's a huge investment as soon as you want to launch a product. So people that go, oh, I want a 300 by 300 bed. You have to think about it this way. Every time you want to launch something like that, I got to go try and get a mortgage on my house. So you got to think about how many times I've launched a new product and how many times, I got a mortgage on my house for it.
This is true. Barry can make molds.
That's true. So Barry, if you want to make me a free mold, I will more than happily take it off. You know what? I'll give you $100 if you make me a mold.
I have no information that I can give you right now about mysterious new hot ends. There's like crates of things here to test. Like, it's ridiculous the amount of, like, if people actually knew what was in this basement for things to test and scrutinize and give feedback on, it'd be pretty exhaustive. They're just things, and they're not in any organized order whatsoever. And I just re-cleaned the basement. I found stuff that I didn't know I had. Yes, innovation in the community would be amazing, and there's a lot of innovation. I mean, some things feel stagnant, like no one's innovating beds. No one's like, let's mass produce cool beds. Now E3D made high temp beds, and then we've got everything else.
Yeah, that's been a hard part, but that's something I have looked at because I do realize that there is a huge gap in beds and bed surfaces right now.
That is, I mean, you can, but shipping is going to be ridiculous, and Dave won't do it because Dave doesn't like it. Well, international shipping sucks for a company in America. Just
international shipping is really tough.
A third-party shipper can do that for you, so you can get anything you want in America. There's actually third-party shipping houses that you tell them to buy that for you, or you buy it and ship it to them, and then they'll ship it to you for a ridiculous price. Because
yes,
I try to ship filament to friends in other countries, and it's like $40. Like, the filament was only 20, and it ended up being 60 to send 1 kilogram.
Just because of shipping.
Yeah, because I will not ship it without some sort of like a note that tells me that it arrived.
It's not easy. International shipping, if you're a company person, is really tough. One, just the prices go up high, but I hate to say this, but the amount of fraud just jumps exponentially as soon as you ship out of country. And it's not because of the other countries. I think it's a lot of legally. It's really hard for me to go after somebody in another country,
Yeah.
and there's too much protection.
My personal point on this one is Dave or nobody should ever carry SKR boards because there's absolutely no way you can warranty them at the price that they're trying to sell them for. But that's
That's
just me.
correct.
They're just
I've looked at it, and they've priced it so low that if I bought directly from them, it would cost me more than if I bought them off Amazon and sold them to you.
yeah. It is not a fun thing. That's why we need a high-end board manufacturer. So I can't wait to try out that new Pennacott board because that thing looks sweet and they make really good stuff. Like I was talking to him on email the other day. Like, Dave, I think you need to talk to Pennacott and make fancy boards.
Yep.
Because he said he can pump out prototypes in a day. So, ba 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 ba. Yeah, I would also. You have CNC machines, so you could actually make your own mixed six beds.
I could, but I would still want to use an outside person because my CNC machines are not uber precise, and if I'm going to do a mixed six bed, I want to have my tolerances down well below a thousandth.
Oh, oh, goody.
So
Ooh, Midwest steel and aluminum. Why is everyone always talking about my land? I live in the Midwest. Midwest Tungsten makes some really good tungsten nozzles. You should have them make printed solid nozzles, Dave.
white label them.
No, just they would have to call them printed solid. Yeah, international shipping sucks. I also ordered one in April and I just canceled it because it's July almost.
It's on fire. Yeah, international shipping is a dumpster fire right now.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Ooh, Dave.
All right, I'm ready for the hate mail. BL Touch.
I don't think anyone's going to hate you.
And the only reason why, I mean, yeah, Pinatube is nice, but it's doing a lot of additional math. And you're sitting there, you have to accommodate for, temperature change, and you're making a lot of guesses. BL Touch literally says, there's where it is. It physically touches that spot and says, there's exactly where it's supposed to be. Yeah. It's a known, it's an absolute known rather than a electronic equivalent.
Or we can do a stress joint, like
a strain gauge.
Printers. Strain gauge.
So a strain gauge is a odd mix. It's right between Pinda 2 and BL Touch.
Yeah.
Because it is technically touching it to give you, but it's measuring an electronic response.
I dig it. Now the real question is, how well is that going to last after 2 years?
Or how much is it going to drift?
Yeah.
BL Touch is not going to drift that much.
Yeah. Unless the moon's out of alignment. Because Hall effect sensors are affected by space-time. Solar flares can affect your BL Touch. Let's see here. Ooh, capacitive or inductive? That's a tough one.
I'm crazy. I'm gonna say inductive.
Oh.
I'm picking a side. I'm pretty. It's really close, but I'm gonna just say inductive.
Rods or rails, Dave?
I am going. I'm going to. Chris is going to hate me on this one. I'm going to say rods.
I don't. If they're fat rods, I don't mind. After experiencing what fat rods can do, I take back my hatred of rods as much because 8mm rods suck. Yep. I was just building my friend's printer the other day after just building that Zerabo, and I was holding the extruder, and I was like, wow, I can warp this thing like crazy with very little movement. And then I went back to the Zerabo. I'm like, I can't really bend this at all. Like.
So the reason why is because I have machines here. I have a 4-foot by 8-foot laser cutter that's all rails.
Yeah.
And that's when rails kick in. As a good idea, in my opinion, is when you hit really large sizes. I am all about the rods, probably 24 inches and less. I want to be a rod guy.
Ooh. touch metal. Yeah, why don't 3D printers use nozzle to determine zero? Some do.
So the Lulzbot printers do that with their little offset washers on the corners. But the main reason why you don't see that on a lot of 3D printers, especially nowadays, is because for good mesh bed leveling, you've got to touch the bed in a bunch of spots in the middle, and those are non-conductive surfaces. So you would have to do like a CNC machine where you have a touch-off plate that you've got to move around the bed and do all the points to calibrate it. And 3D printing people just ain't those type of people.
They want to be quick, fast, and accuracy is the least important part.
Well, no, it's a matter of imagine on when it does its probing. If every single each of those 25 points you probe on your bed, you have to sit there and say, all right, do point 1, let it raise up, stick the block underneath it, let it measure it, record that. Then point 2, you got to move that block over and do that for each point. So it's not. I don't think it's the 3D printing ideal. CNC is a whole different.
Yeah.
I honestly think CNC people are way different than 3D printing people.
Mr. Buttrum's here. Don't forget, everyone, support Butreon.com. Not a sponsor. Yeah, and it sucks. If your nozzle is slightly dirty, it won't calibrate. This is also correct.
That is correct.
Nozzle cleanliness is very important. So if you have something like a Nozzle X that does not, I think there's a warning about using a brass bristle brush on rubbing it because it could remove the WS2 coating. So you're kind of poop out of luck when it comes to cleaning those thick goobers off. So probes, use them when you got them. Oh man! All right. So what is the future of printed solid? What are you working on next, Dave?
Literally trying to expand the parts collection and get to second extrusion line and expand the material offerings. Those are all my next, 6-month plan.
Ooh.
So I'm hell bent on ending 2020 on an up note. I don't care what the rest of 2020 does to us. I'm going to end it on an up note.
There's already so many up notes. The new enclosure, the Jesse filament.
Yep.
SKR
Bring on the
board
murder
adapters.
wasp. I gotta care. Yeah. Bring on the murder wasp. I got everything else under control.
I think aliens are going to visit myself. That's my personal future of 2020. Is aliens will show up and be like, "Wow, we left you guys here. Everything was great. What's going on?"
I will open the showroom if aliens come.
Nice.
So Carl, get those aliens to come here, and then you can come on into the showroom.
Llama wants high temperature PLA.
Yes, I agree.
But they're all the same temperature PLA until you anneal it.
Correct.
So there is actually, that's always the misnomer. It's high temperature PLA when you anneal it. I really want to print it with 3 motors. Z-axis and kinematic mount for auto leveling. Look at DIY core, look at rail core, look at anything that's a core XY, because you won't find that on a Cartesian. Which would be really cool to have little itty bitty servo motors that adjust the bed on a Cartesian. Dave,
yep.
You wanted to make a cool bed. Little servo motor bed. Is Dave running for president in 2020? Depends. Do you have enough skeletons in your closet to afford to be a president, or is it too clean back there?
Yeah, my closet's relatively clean. I have very little dirt in my closet to be a politician.
Dang it. See, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get some dirt in my closet so I can run for politics. Oh, there we go. How long before Zerbo kits are available, Dave?
When Zerbo says, "Hey, David, can you carry my kits for us?"
Ooh, Wolfgang, you heard it here. You said you're going to watch the video later. Dave's ready.
So,
wouldn't that just be an interesting conflict? Dave carries Zerbo. There's Bear. The war will begin, Dave.
So
printer wars.
Here's the thing. I look at it is that even if I had Bear in house and Zerbo's in house, I think that that's a good option for everybody out there. I mean, people want to have it. Okay, that's a good one.
I need to make that shirt.
That is a great shirt.
I need to make
Sorry.
that shirt. Uh,
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 but the whole Zerbo Bear thing, I'm a firm believer in options for people. I don't like
yeah.
to decide. I don't like to decide for people that they should only have one. I'm not Costco. I don't think I should only have one ketchup. I think I should have like 12 ketchups on the shelf and let people decide.
Oh, tomato smoothies. Yeah, those are delicious.
Yeah.
Um, so Dave, any plans for a Pet G line?
So yes, my second line, and once I get that up, that'll be primarily what I want it to run.
Nice.
I even have Pet G pellets here. It's just a matter of getting the time to go in there and start running it through. But I want to dedicate a line because a big problem with making a filament is cross contamination. That's the number one thing you'll read about if you ever get into extrusion. And I don't want to cross contaminate my PLA or PETG with the other. So cleaning the machinery between changing out filament types is a bloody nightmare.
No. Yeah. 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 Plus, nobody wants PLA Pet G combo. That's just silly
Yes.
because I think they don't mix anyway. So
You'd be surprised. Remember, PLA is a surprisingly narrow category,
hmm
but PETG is so wide. PETG, you might as well say PETG is like saying a car, and PLA is like saying it's a Ford midsize car. There's only a few options in that PLA category, but PETG, it could be a car, truck, van, semi, whatever.
can we make condiment filaments?
I'm still
Catch.
working on the dog hair filament.
Oh boy, we have to wait for that just so we can get ketchup and mustard and horseradish filaments.
That's right.
I don't know if I'd want a horseradish filament. You start printing it, you're like, I can breathe really well, and the back of my brain tickles. Pet
That's
PLA.
that's exactly what I'd have to call it too.
Oh man.
I know,
Oh, that's
Justin. I'm trying to get fluorescent brown.
a fluorescent brown. Eventually, you're gonna have fluorescent brown, and people are they're just gonna crap their pants and be like, and I have no choice but to order all of it from you.
I sent off a recipe request last night, going, "Hey, could we try it this way?" And I'm waiting for a response for them to sit there and go, "No, stop, David, just stop."
What about if
Because
we add stuff to make it glow? That way, it still does the thing where like you put it under UV light and it glows. Like, can we add some additives? Like,
I'm on like my fifth revision with them trying to figure out how to make a fluorescent brown.
then we need fluorescent black
Yeah.
and fluorescent beige. That would finish on the fluorescent combos. FedEx or UPS or USPS.
Whew. UPS and USPS, both of those. USPS has been a little crazy lately,
Yeah,
but UPS and USPS, FedEx, I'm not a huge fan of them.
wouldn't that be orange fluorescent brown? No, no, it wouldn't be. Orange is orange. Fluorescent brown is just like imagine like hot pink, but a hot brown. Like it's just so brown. It's so intense.
There's some trickery to orange. Don't forget, orange is technically brown.
What?
Orange is a high luminance brown. That's why fluorescent brown is a problem. Is because as soon as you add fluorescent to brown, it becomes orange.
Nice. So it is orange.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Literally orange. If you take the luminosity on orange and bring it down, it becomes brown.
Oh yeah, yeah. Devin wants glow in the dark black
That's broken.
because it needs to be transparent to work.
Yep. So well, it doesn't have to be transparent, but the problem is to make it glow in the dark, it actually has to be a light luminance value so it can reflect something inside of there.
Fluorescent brown just had depleted uranium dust. Oh. Just glows all the time.
It makes you feel all warm inside.
Another shirt that needs to be made. Orange is the new brown. So
That's
grab
right.
him by the Prusa and orange is the new brown. Steve-O is just like the t-shirt guy. Someone who owns a
Steve,
t-shirt company, just hire Steve-O.
sounds about
uh,
right.
uh-oh. What do you like or dislike on the Wham Bam Hot Box?
Oh boy. I don't like bad mouthing competition. I will tell you, I'm gonna put it this way. I don't want to bad mouth, another competition, but I will say this. I like that my boxes are structurally sound and tested to leak the right amount of heat, and it also has a really high fire rating now.
Nice. So you're
So
saying that
those
when
are
I mess up one day, that the fire will stay contained in my box.
in the new design. It's much more since aluminum siding.
Nice. When can I order some depleted uranium filament?
When it reaches its half life.
Neon white. What's your favorite spicy wing sauce?
Ooh, I don't like spicy food.
Oh, Dave, we're no longer best friends.
I like my food mild and bland.
Nice. You
Every
are
once in a
European.
while, yes, I might take hearty, but I will not take spicy.
Okay. PC Pet G combo. Hmm. I mean, they're both polys.
Yeah. I mean, that's a wonderful argument. I don't know how that would mix together properly.
Yeah. The answer is no enclosure for your PLA. Or open the door
Well,
at least.
there are people that have developed allergies to PLA,
Yeah.
and they do want a filtration system on it. But I'd say that in my opinion, I think those allergies are more like gluten sensitivity. It's just made up. Uh,
Unless you have
so
celiacs, then it's real.
unless you have celiac, then it's a real thing. But the people that just randomly generate it, I think it's in that similar category.
Yeah.
If you're in so I would sit there and say PLA, you don't need HEPA filtration. My rule of thumb is HEPA. If you're printing above 235, you should put a filter on it.
Nice.
There's a huge argument out there. I've talked to everybody. I've looked through all the data. I've simplified it to that one fact.
You got to get that yellow to red shifting filament, Dave.
Yeah, that's on my wish list.
Justin's also with you. Mild and bland.
Yes. Ain't nobody got time for spices. Why make yourself hurt?
Nobody wears pants on stream. That's actually part of the hotbed requirements. No one wears pants.
Wait.
Oh, he's wearing khakis. He's in business casual right now. Ooh, direct drive or Bowden?
Direct drive.
Mm.
And the only reason why is because I don't think speed is that important.
Man, they're really trying to get you to say stuff about people's stuff.
Yeah,
Is that my
they
Wham
really
Bam?
are.
No, that's not my Wham Bam. Here it is. I got one. I used it. I don't use it now.
The only bad thing I will say about Wham Bam's flexible build plate is that I think he should not be engraving his logo on the plate.
Yeah, it can cause a flex point.
That's the only bad thing I'll say about his plates. Everything else I arguably say is marketing and opinion.
Yeah, why is printed solid logo a knight, Dave?
Why is it not? So, that's a tough one. Pretty much what we tried to do was when the company was all matte, he wanted to have he had his logo and he had a little robot character buried inside the D, and that was it. And it was a little tiny robot character, and it was kind of a generic robot. I said I wanted something a little more detailed, and I wanted a mascot. I wanted a mascot that actually physically existed in the world. And so one of our employees at the time, I started asking her about it, and Matt and everybody else, and trying to figure out what was going to be a good one. And we looked at everybody else's mascots, and we said, all right, well, knights aren't really being used, so let's do the knight. It's
Nice.
bold, it's proud, it's strong. It makes it easy.
It's got armor to protect it from its mushy interior.
And it doesn't have a face, which was actually a real factor. I didn't want a face attached to the model.
Gotcha.
Faces, that whole Valley of the Dolls problem.
Yeah, I need to bring the old microphone back when I do these shows. I'm just lazy, and this is what was already plugged in. The other microphone's over there. I also need to get like a stand where I can like pull the microphone in and then just move it away when I don't need it. Because right now I use it on a stand and I put it because this table doesn't have anywhere to clamp. It's actually a flat edge, so normally you could clamp to a table. Can't do that. Are you open for curbside pickup, Dave?
That's something we might consider by the end of June. Um, Mainly because I'm trying. But here's the problem with curbside: is that customers when they come here, of course we're going to socialize. We're going to sit there and chat with them on a regular basis.
No.
So curbside pickup, all you end up with is just everybody instead of being in the showroom, you got like 12 people standing outside in the parking lot talking to each other. That's why we stopped curbside pickup as well.
Oh.
We kept it for our educational and government people because they literally come drive by, open the back of their car, throw it inside, and drive away.
Mm.
But
And actually throw it.
Yeah, and they throw it. But the real curbside pickup, you're going to come here and hang outside for 30 minutes and chat. And we love that. It's just now's not the time to do that.
We had a virtual tour.
Yep.
Yeah, we walked around with a camera and we're showing everybody stuff.
So
He's talking. What you need the protective outer layer to protect your mushy, soft, delicate internals.
no, I think he's referring to the hang outside and talk for 30 minutes or an hour. And yes, Carl, that is part of the problem. Is that we want to socialize, we want to chat with you, we want to hang out, and now is just a bad time to do that. We're not a traditional store. We expect people to come in and waste our time, and we waste their time. And just chat 3D printing for an hour or two. It's fun. Yeah. We're not here because we're trying to make money. We're here because we're just like 3D printing. I keep forgetting that I need to make money to keep the place going.
No, don't make money, Dave.
That's the biggest. It's the one thing I keep forgetting about running a business.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, that is true. We are saturated with much of the same.
Well, here's the thing. I agree with that. I think we're pretty well saturated. Everyone's trying to flip little bits around, as I like to say, and get little things going. That's why I get excited when I see something weird or funky going on. That's why, 2 years ago now I saw the Railcore and I was like, okay, that's different. It's like the Voron right now. I'm looking at that going, that's different. It's like Carl's, belt printer. That's different. There's some cool things out there that are different, but I'd probably say 90% of this market is regurgitating the same concepts.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to badmouth one manufacturer. I think we're seeing Creality just take everyone's idea and just make it cheap. And that's kind of their model right now.
But strain relief, Dave.
Strain relief is a problem, but hey, I make money when when their wires break. But no, seriously, that's the only thing I have a problem right now is that I do think it is stagnant, and unfortunately, the brands that are doing really well are just taking everyone else's ideas and making it cheaper.
Yeah.
So that's the only problem.
Professional time wasters.
That's correct.
That's literally me. But we like a VR tour. Okay. We had the video tour. They want the VR tour.
They want me to go get VR cameras and set them all up and hide everything.
Yeah, they are getting incrementally better. I can agree to that. It's just some of it's like the 3D printing board market is like dead. You've got companies like Ultimate Machine who make fantastic boards, but haven't left the 2005s when designing boards. Like Einsy was rated as this like technologically advanced board. It was just a mini Rambo with better steppers drivers on it. It's not they didn't push the thing forward any. It just stepped to the side. And Duet they made a Duet 3, which is a tool changer board, and they have the Duet 2, which is just a overkill board for basically the entire market. Like if you have a bed slinger, we don't need duets. So who stepped in? China stepped in, and we have SKR boards and FizzTech boards and whatever, and they're like selling like hotcakes. They're selling hotcakes for $25, and they're not really that advanced. They're just like, well, let's just start putting useless ports on things that we might never use. Like, why do I have four uh, direct to PSU fan ports on a board? Like, why do I need four? Just plug them in. They always run. Yeah, it just you know.
Well, I will
But I
say
got
this.
but I got
So
one PWM fan pin. One.
I will get on the board manufacturer's page here. So Ultimate Machine,
Yeah.
that's an American-made board company.
Yeah.
And what they have definitely done is that there is zero shortcuts on their board.
Yeah.
Every component, everything across it is the highest end it possibly can be. So I give them credit for that. Now Duet, in my opinion, Duet 2 was built around the complaining customer. That's probably the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
Because if you released a board that only had, an XYZ and one extruder motor, and you're going to have somebody complain, well, why doesn't it have two extruder motors?
Yeah.
And if you only have one PWM fan, they're going to say, why doesn't it have two? And if you have two, they'll say 3 and 4. So Duet 2, they overloaded it just so people sit there and don't complain about it not having enough ports.
Yeah.
And then they still had to make a Duet 5 to put on top of that just to add more ports because people were complaining about it.
Yeah.
Duet 3 was people were complaining about the motor sizes. So you take Duet 3 and you put some NEMA 23s on that, and you drive some big printers or some CNC mills.
Yeah.
And that's where the Duet 3 steps in. They also introduced the whole CAN bus concept, which that is awesome. That's probably, as far as board innovations right now, that's probably the biggest innovation out there. I don't know if you've seen their Tool 1 HC board. It's a tiny little board that's only for a single channel, but now you've got a simple 5-wire lead to it, and it'll run a stepper motor, it'll run your fan, a hot end, a thermistor, and I think another fan as well, and a BL Touch, all through this one 5-wire lead. And so you have this little board. The idea is that you mount that on the back of the NEMA motor. Mm-hmm. And so now you can start just making, you can actually have the controllers for each tool changer head on the head itself.
Yeah.
So
again, it's a tool changer board.
Yeah. And tool changer and CNC board is where they were trying to go with that.
Yeah.
But that's the defense I will make for those two companies primarily. And then, yes, you get the other guys, the SKR style that's definitely making cheaper boards for people to play with.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I was talking to the guys from Pentacot the other day on email, and they're like, well, we thought about it. And like, I've messaged Duet before, I've messaged Ultimate Machine, I've messaged all these people like within the last year, like ever since the SKR 1.3 came out, I'm like, okay, here's this really cheap board with all of these fantastical little, whiz bang. Basically, the feature list is really long, but they're taking the cheapest components possible and then literally like hot gluing the components to the board, and it works. But it has its deficiencies, it has its issues, like, and they're selling like hotcakes. Like I don't even like I don't even want to describe like. I was getting emails back saying like, oh, there's not a market for it. I'm like, do you have any idea like how many of these boards are selling compared to your mini Rambos? Like, if you just exclude Prusa from your sales list, how are you doing? Like, if you exclude, these companies buying your Duets, how are you doing? And they're not willing to admit that they're just missing that hobbyist market. There needs to be a hobbyist board, and there isn't a high quality hobbyist board. I consider Duet a pro board. I consider Ultimate Machine to make good hobbyist boards, but they're just outdated now. There hasn't been a modern refresh to compete against.
I will put Duet and the Ultimate Machines into a pro board category, and I'll tell you this, is that if you think about enterprise level boards versus consumer grade board, is that if you make an enterprise board, you really don't need that much support. You get one guy, and that'll support all your customer base.
Yeah.
As soon as you make a consumer grade thing, your support goes up exponentially.
Correct.
So that's the problem you run into. And so when you get to cheap SKR boards, they are relying on the concept that they don't really care about support. You sit there and just, it's not like you can email SKR guys and they'll give you a response and send you another board. They rely on Amazon just to swap it out and send them the bill.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
and for the community to take care. And that's the thing is, I think a lot of these companies aren't even noticing the fact that the community can support your board. Like if you bring
yep.
out a really good hobbyist board, which is why I'm so excited about that Pentacot board. Like people are like, "Why are you so excited? Why not just buy a Do It?" I'm like, "You don't understand. Like Pentacot makes really good boards. Like I've had the Vicky 2 screen, I have the rearm. Like I thought maybe I could make something with the rearm, but it just wasn't what I wanted. Like I don't want a hat. I don't. And I looked at the Azteca or whatever, and I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. Like that one's overkill. Like again, it's like they don't have anything again for the hobbyist. I just need
Yep.
5 stepper drivers. I need 3 PWM fan outputs. I need 3 thermistor inputs. I need a hotbed output. Like I just need a bare minimum plus a couple extras. Like that's all we need, and that's literally what the SKR does. And I'm excited because I'm like, dude, this is Pentacot making a Creality board. Like it's a replacement for the Melzi with an additional PWM fan output, running RepRat firmware with high quality components, like very high quality components on a really good board by someone who knows how to design boards. Like this isn't this isn't like SKR going, here's another, what is that thing? The SKR Mini. Like
Yep.
it's SKR Mini still going to have many flaws in it. So yeah, it's just
It's an interesting market, and I think there's a couple of holes in the board market out there. So it'll be interesting to see who fills them.
yeah. And Grubby's saying that like $120 for an INC Rambo is too much. It's a lot of money for the hobbyist market for what you get. Because again, it's 4 stepper driver outputs, 2 fan outputs, PWM. There is 3 thermistor ports, which is nice, but one hot end output, one heater cartridge output, one bed output. It's just a really high quality board component wise, and that's what you're paying for. Like there needs to be that like, you know, still high quality, but it won't burn my house down. Like, can we get it to like not burn my house down quality, but still have some features and not be $180? Because that's where Duet is. Like, we got a board that's amazing, won't burn your house down, but it's $180 board that's in the middle. So I don't burn my house down,
So you're
and
paying $100 for you're paying $100 for fire protection.
that should be an insurance sticker that comes with it.
So I'm just saying that that's where it is, and until somebody can come out and go, hey, listen, we have the same fire protection, but now we're only going to charge you $50 more for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is like a lot of these high end boards don't have. They do now. Like you can do NeoPixels now with Duet. Like that's a new
Yep.
thing because, again, it's like the low end manufacturers are actually, in my mind, actually innovating more in some aspects.
Yes.
And it's
They
hard to
usually
admit
do.
that. It's hard to admit that because again, it reminds me of the Canon argument. A lot of people who are photographers go, "Why does the Rebel camera always come out with the newest features, and then the Pro camera always is like a year behind? Like
That
where was
that's a simple problem, and that's very common because let's put it this way: higher end companies don't try to innovate without thoroughly testing.
yeah
The low end companies sit there and go, hell yes, throw some NeoPixels on that, see what happens.
yeah
No skin off our backs. But then you'll get somebody that Duet will sit there and go, okay, we're going to test the hell out of this idea and make sure it's going to work first and stay
yeah
that way. And sometimes the cheaper boards or the cheaper people, they strike gold because they get it the first try.
yeah
But the
I
pro
did
boards, yeah. And the pro board people sit there and kind of go, well, no, just because it works doesn't mean it works. That is a key thing. So most of them want to have stuff that run for years.
yeah, and that's what I
So
want. Like I think the hobbyist tinkers are ready. Like you know I need a printed solid to go start emailing people and be like, I will sell your boards if you can make this fancy thing. Like because again, if you're gonna get into getting cool hobbyist parts, you gotta have the brain.
yep,
And I think that's what's missing. Like we have like the bed and the brain are two things. Like we've got great motors, we've got great build parts, frame pieces, whatever you want to do. We've got amazing extruders and hot ends and whatever. I mean, between the Hemera and the BMGs and the arrows and there's just a plethora of really good options. But where is the brains? Like, there's a lot of options, but it's either $200 or
$20.
$20, and then in the
And
middle is like nothing.
so you got $20 or $200, and the difference is fire or no fire.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. I mean, that is a problem in the port set.
I can just imagine the guys like Big Tree Tech literally have a board, and they have a bunch of like a metal wall, and they have a bunch of magnets with just random stuff, and they just throw it at the wall and it sticks. Yeah, we'll put that on our board. I don't know why, but we're gonna put it on our board.
I mean, I've seen electronics people, that they literally develop it inside of their CAD program, do their theoretical testing and software,
Yeah.
and they never even get a prototype built, and they send it straight off to production.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then they fix it afterwards.
we all fix it afterwards.
You know,
That's what 3D printing's all about.
And then they'll sell 1,000 of them knowing there's a defect, or 10,000 of them knowing there's a defect, and they'll be like, we'll get it right on the next one.
Yeah. Now they got the feedback we needed. Thank you for alpha testing our product, folks.
Yes. And sometimes you hit gold, sometimes you don't. And the pro boards, they're a little bit different. They, the Duet guys, my God, they send out their boards, and their next generation board has been out there in prototypers' hands for months now.
Yeah.
Testing and going over it, like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, my enclosures, which are ultimately at the end of the day just freaking boxes, have been out there on people's hands for last 6 months, and only now am I starting to launch them.
You crazy guy, you.
And it's just because I don't want to screw up at launch.
Yeah, consumers have definitely become the beta QA testers, which is
I hate that.
It is not fun.
I hate that part.
Yeah. Automation Directs. Technic Automation Directs. Dynamotion. I've never heard of any of those for 3D printing. Centroid.
Yeah, those are all actually. Automation Direct is a really good one. Dynamotion is pretty good. I haven't used Centroid much, but there's a lot of options out there. Here's the funny thing: a lot of people don't forget is that 3D printing, it's become this community subsection of CNC.
Yeah.
And as soon as you step outside that world, the entire community and the world and the people and everything like that just shifts so far beyond the scope of what you can imagine.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had anybody refer to anything on a 3D printer as a PLC or an HMI?
Never?
Yeah, and those are standard CNC. Hell, when's the last time you heard anybody refer to a 3D printer as a CNC machine?
Someone the other day did.
And that someone's probably over 55. No, to circle it back. But no, there is a whole other world. And 3D printing kind of has tried to reinvent that category altogether. So it's kind of fascinating.
You know what boards support closed loop steppers? SKR 1.4. Again, it's like the feature list is ridiculous, and they're kicking people's butt on stupid things.
Well, see, in traditional CNC world, most of the time the driver is external to the control board, and you can get closed loop motors that literally take care of themselves independent of the board. And I really like those. I played with a few of those, and those are fun. Those work well.
Playing. All right, so we'll have everyone ask a few more Dave questions. We kind of ran a tangent here because I'm just like freaking out over boards lately.
Yes.
So everyone ask Dave things, and then
put me on the hotbed.
Yes.
That hopefully I won't lose vendors because of the questions. Vanilla.
Someone asked ice cream?
Chocolate or vanilla?
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I'm a vanilla or a strawberry guy.
Yeah. I went to two of those websites that you said, Big Mike, and none of them had a nice 32-bit board with the features I want.
That's because most CNC doesn't even think about that way.
Exactly.
Um, they went in a whole different direction, and that's why they can do it.
Yep. They don't need fancy algorithms for tool paths. They just need to go left, right, up, down.
Well, don't forget. I mean, you can get 7-axis and 9-axis CNC mills.
Nice.
You know, if you ever just want to have a really great night, look up 7-axis CNC mill videos on YouTube. You'll be sitting there for hours.
Jimmy's or sprinkles, Dave?
I hate both, but I have called them sprinkles.
You hate sprinkles?
I hate sprinkles. They're the glitter of the
Dessert world.
Dessert world.
I love
regular size. Hate the minis.
What? I like them all. It's just peanut butter and chocolate. I'm just shoving it in my mouth.
I like more peanut butter than chocolate.
Let's see. I was thinking the boards that have integrated steppers. Well, I prefer removable just because if the technology decides to get better, you can swap in new ones. But there are definitely perks of having integrated stepper drivers, like better heat dissipation and smaller board, and it works. Sprinkles are everywhere. Uh-oh. They're getting real technical with you.
Yeah, soda.
Soda.
I grew up in Kentucky. I went to college down in the South and spent 15 years out in California. So I've kind of hit every single one of those. But I am a whiskey guy. Even though I grew up in bourbon country, I am a whiskey guy. I'm an Irish whiskey guy.
Nice.
I hate a lot of things because I love a lot of other things.
Hey man, CNC is just up, down, left, and right, but so is 3D printing. It can be more complicated if you want it to be.
I firmly believe that CNC is more complicated than 3D printing because 3D printing, at the end of the day, the only thing you have to anticipate is melted plastic. Once you get into CNC, you start adding in, 5, 7, 9 axes, and then you have to think about the material that you're cutting.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget, 3D printing is additive. Most CNC is subtractive. And I firmly believe that subtractive manufacturing is far more difficult than additive.
But it is with algorithms built into the processor.
It is a very complex algorithms because they have to think about the placement of the tool too, which is really cool. If you've ever tried to do cam work on a true CNC, like a 5-axis, you have to think about the printer itself has to be modeled inside, or the arm itself has to be modeled inside of it. Ooh. Because you have to make sure that it doesn't crash into what you're milling.
This is true. It's very few times can you really crash your extruder into your model unless you mess up.
And that's why once you hit past 3-axis CNC, the cam software gets extremely expensive, like high-end car price expensive.
Yeah. So now I got to find me a board that says that it's like that, because I was over here just digging at the boards. I'm like, all right, another 8-bit board that I don't need. Injection molder extrusion. They're the same thing. Crayons or markers?
Damn markers.
We're a colored pencil kind of family.
Legos or Mega Bloks? Legos.
Who uses Mega Bloks?
That would be the people that the Creality people. Oh snap!
Dave throwing down.
I'm throwing shade. All right, Octoprint definitely.
Oh.
Injection. I know. I'm just an Octoprint fan. Injection molding or extrusion. Well, here's the thing. Extrusion lines are using injection molding machines. Most of the machinery is the same. It's just literally the mold at the end is different. So my extrusion line, the beginning screw and everything like that on it is all from an injection molding machine.
Mr. Buttram, I got PLA I got PETG. I got layer height.
Yeah, that's still plastic. It's still the same plastic. We got 30
Uh,
different shades of aluminum and 30 different shades of steel and 30 different shades
that's
of
what
every other
software is
material.
for. Software does all that.
Not when you have to calculate that going around a curve requires different speeds.
Yeah, that's all in software.
You know. And then also, don't forget, you change your nozzle per print. It is very common in CNC world that we have to change our nozzle 5 or 6 times during a single job.
Man, I'm trying to grill you, but you keep winning.
See?
Oh,
Star Wars or Happy Potter? I'm sorry, but Star Wars every time. Now, Star Wars versus Star Trek. If I'm not thinking, Star Wars. If I want to have a good, theoretical debate, Star Trek.
there we go. Because
Mac or
everyone's got a.
PC? I am a PC guy. Now, I used to be a Mac guy. Let's see.
Hmm,
Planar or non-planar? I am still a planar.
I don't think they'll ever get non-planar to work.
Yeah. Let's see. What are some of these other
Dave
questions
wins.
here?
Not fair.
uh,
I didn't come
uh,
prepared for a CNC debate because my parents did all that stuff. So
there you go.
they worked for the aerospace industry. My mom ran a CNC machine and a lathe and heat treated parts and did all that fun stuff and burned herself constantly.
Uh, Pepsi, even though my entire family is Coke.
You're the black sheep, though.
Um,
That's not a fair
I
question.
am the black sheep. I'm Picard over Kirk. I am Red Dwarf the whole way. Oh man, you had to ask that question. Okay, so I'm required by law to say Babylon 5 because in a past life, I used to sell, repair, and represent NewTek Video Toaster and Lightwave 3D products, and Babylon 5 was created entirely and was the first major network show done with Lightwave 3D on the NewTek Video Toaster on the Amiga 4000.
Wow.
Deep Space Nine only used it for 3 scenes in the entire series. Mario.
Mario.
Sonic is just kind of like that speed runner. It required less skill and more button mashing. Mario, you had to think a little bit more, in my opinion. See, there's a fun random questions to let you know yes or no on all that stuff. Waffles,
Yeah,
Belgian waffles.
they got abs. You gotta love
You
abs.
know, they hold more butter.
They hold more butter, and so does the palm of my hand.
That's
So,
right.
yeah. Anything else you want to do or say before we end the stream, Dave? You're the longest contestant on the hotbed at an hour and a half.
Thank you, thank you. No, I feel like I've rambled on enough, and I feel like I've answered the random questions. And I feel like now everyone knows the man behind the myth, behind the legend.
Yes, that is correct.
So, oh come on, someone's asking Atari versus Commodore. Really, Dan? We should all know this. It's Commodore. Because are you keeping up with Commodore? Because Commodore's keeping up with you.
I just have a Nintendo Switch, so and a RetroPie. I'm good. You are on the bad list.
That's right.
Shame, shame, shame for making a product better. Thank you, Carl. Stroop waffles or brownies? He's gonna say brownies. He already doesn't like
Brownies.
stroop waffles.
Brownies all the way.
Brownies with nuts or brownies without nuts?
Brownies without nuts, but ice cream on top.
Oh, vanilla ice cream
Vanilla ice cream.
and caramel brownies.
No.
Just plain
I
chocolate
want
brownies.
I want plain chocolate brownies, no extra chunks in there. Just that soft, gooey brownie with ice cream over top of it.
Brady or Montana? I'm gonna go Bart Starr.
Well, that's a football reference, right?
Yeah, Tom Brady or Joe Montana.
Okay, so there's my answer and my question of that's a football reference, right?
Oh man. All right.
So I'm not a football guy.
I am. In a battle of football, I think I would win. Dave would win in 3D
Yes.
printing and CNC and anything that has to do with Raspberry Pis, or he'd win in
Or
everything
battle
else.
or combat robotics.
Yep, that too.
That's the
I
only
might win in
that's my
that because
only
I would just
recognized
drop
skill.
an EMP. Like that's my win. Like my BattleBot drops EMPs, and mine's shielded. But then you never see the victory because everything else shuts off in the room. Like, yeah, I won. And they're like, we don't have any video evidence of that because everything went black. I'm like, dang
So
it.
you forfeit and David wins because of legacy. Yay!
No, EMPs aren't legal? What the heck?
That's right.
Uh, uh, Werewolf or Chupacabra?
Werewolf and oh dear God, I know the political background behind both of those, so I'm going to say Robot Wars.
Uh-oh. All right. But on that note, thank you, Dave, for coming on the hotbed. Episode 5 of 500. Right? That's where I'm going to stop. If I make 500 episodes of this, I quit. Because what is that? If it's one a week, that's 52 a year. So that's 10 years. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's
You better get hurrying.
I'm glad I did math in my head. So yeah, thank you again, Dave. Appreciate it. Everyone go to Printed Solid. If you order and use if you order today, he'll throw in a second sticker for $10. Just I don't know how you'll make that extra $10, but it's just there.
It's just there. It's an option.
It's there. It's an option. Chat, thank you for keeping us awake and alive. I know Dave was up late last night with us streaming. He's in that Delaware time zone where it's fake time. It's an hour ahead of the rest of the world because the rest of the world's in the Midwest. I'm just throwing that out there. If you're not in Central time zone, I don't know what's going on with your life because
You're the people I fly over to get to the other real people.
yeah, but sometimes you have to stop in Chicago for that transition. So
Yeah, we stop there and we go, oh, isn't this cute? And then we move on.
yeah, this is neat. It smells bad. Why is it so foggy here?
Wow,
Why is Lake Michigan so dirty?
I just alienated an entire time zone. That's impressive.
Yeah, no one in the Midwest is ordering from Printed Solid for eternity.
Is that central or central or east mountain time?
That's Central. There's no such thing as Mountain Time. That's just they're like, I want to be an hour difference again.
Are you trying to get me alienated by another time zone?
Maybe.
I fly over that time zone too to get to the people that matter. So there you go.
Are you saying that the people who matter are matter hackers?
So
Oh.
there's East Coast and West Coast, and then everybody else.
Yeah, we are the building block. When you
You're
guys
the
fall
glue
off into the ocean, we're all that's going to be left.
you're the people holding us from going into the ocean.
Yeah, yeah. I have
All
another
right.
microphone. It's over there. I just am
Yeah.
lazy. So, all right. Thanks, Dave. PrintedSolid.com. Good night. Stay out of trouble. Chat. Appreciate you. Good night, YouTube.